So Ohio State has to replace a very valuable piece of its defense, a guy who had 120 tackles and 7 sacks, but was also the leader of its defense, and that's Cody Simon, who was the block hole last year. And it seems like they're replacing it in the aggregate. I'm Steven, that's Andrew, and that's Stefan. Stefan, let's start with the – you know what? No, I'm going to let you go second. Andrew, let's start with the leadership aspect of this, and that seems to be where Sonny Styles is showing up the most. He had 100 tackles last year, too, and so we're expecting him to be plenty productive. But from a leadership standpoint, that seems to be the void he's filling the most that Cody Simon leaves behind.
Well, I think he has to fill that void. I think it's a natural fit because, one, everybody's gone now, right? Like, think about the players that were ahead of Sonny in his career. Tommy Eichenberg, Lathan Ransom, Cody Simon,
literally every human being not named Caleb Downs and Davidson Igbenogson.
Right, and those guys came in after Sonny Styles. Yeah. So, you think of, okay, well, here's how this could go and blah, blah, blah. Well, he's the guy. He's not only the elder statesman in the room, he's just been around and done a lot of different things that not everybody in this room can do. How many different players on Ohio State's defense or on Ohio State's roster can say, I started a whole season at one position and then started a whole season at another position? It's like he's seen a lot of football in a lot of different areas. So not only do you have the on-field leadership, not only do you have the, hey, listen to me, I've done a lot of things. You have this is a fourth-year guy who, he gets raved about in the weight room, and people talk about him just in his off-the-field category. I think this is probably the most natural replacement that you could have in terms of a leadership role for what Ohio State is losing. And I think Ohio State fans should be pretty excited about what Sonny Styles can do on the field, but I think off the field matters just as much. And I think Ohio State, they're in a pretty good spot with him.
James Laurinaitis got asked about Sonny Styles being the leader of the front seven, and he corrected the question, said, no, he's the leader of the defense. Right? Again, he said he came back. Sonny Styles said this. He said he came back because he didn't feel like he had reached his ceiling yet, which is probably true. We have to remember, yes, he's entering his fourth year as a college football player, but he reclassified. He's still the age of a third-year guy, so there's still some football growth. But the biggest thing we've seen is, I think we saw it standing at the podium today, at the table today, you're seeing him grow into that leadership role for Ohio State, and it's the reason why we all think he's going to be the next Black O. Now, back to the regularly scheduled programming. We're cleveland.com. So, listen, we always have to pay attention to the guys who are from Cleveland on the Ohio State football team, especially when those guys from Cleveland are pretty darn good. We got a good track record here. Marshawn Lattimore, Ted Ginn Jr., Troy Smith. What do they have in common? They all went to Glenville. And it seems like Glenville's getting ready to throw Ohio State another superstar at linebacker.
Yeah, Arvell Reese. I've been leading the hype train for a while now, and the time has come. Behind the scenes, we plan out things that we're going to write, things that we're going to do on a Google Doc, and Steven was on that Google Doc at the same time I was. When I was jotting down what I'm going to write from today, I wrote, Arvell Reese, the time has come. This is the next guy, the next great linebacker in Ohio State history. He has all the tools to the point where last year he's making plays, and not to say that he wasn't putting in the work behind the scenes, but you probably saw a lot of his natural abilities. And now here's a guy who's experienced, who's learned, who's not afraid to ask questions. James Laurinaitis was joking. He's like, Arvell doesn't lie. Like, if he messes up, he's just going to be like, oh, yeah, I didn't know that. Yeah. And then James is like, all right, I can teach you that. Don't lie, and I can tell you what's wrong, what you got to fix. He's learned behind Cody Simon. As much as Sonny is kind of the guy replacing Cody in terms of leadership, Arvell is the guy that's going to kind of do it in terms of the position that he plays. And when did we see Cody Simon kind of reach his best last year? When Jim Knowles started moving him around, started doing some different things with him. That's what you can do with a guy like Arvell Reese. The athleticism, the natural talent, paired with some experience and time under James Laurinaitis, there is no limit to what Arvell Reese can do this season.
Arvell Reese, man. The thing that's interesting about this is it's been a while since the linebackers were the stars of the front seven. We've gotten so used to defensive linemen, and for good reason, right? Nick Bosa, Chase Young, Joey Bosa, Tyquan Lewis, Jack and JT, and what they did last year. Tyleik Williams, Davon Hamilton, on down the list there, Draymond Jones. It's been a while since Ohio State's had some linebackers who are this athletic and are just the weapons. You even mentioned it. Cody Simon became a weapon later in the year. Tommy Eichenberg became a weapon as the season progressed. They might be day one weapons with Sonny Styles and Arvell Reese. And, I don't know, do you have the best two linebackers in the Big Ten? I don't know. That's a hard thing to say right now. But do you have the best tandem in the Big Ten? I think that's what we're dealing with Sonny Styles and Arvell Reese. They're going to have to continue to replace the leadership that Cody Simon left behind. But it does seem like that's getting checked off by Sonny Styles, while the production Cody Simon leaves behind. Arvell Reese might be taking on that mantle as well. I'm Steven. That's Stefan. That's Andrew. Get the text 614-350-3315. 2-week free trial, $3.99 after that. We'll continue to talk about these linebackers and Arvell Reese on Buckeye Talk, so go find that wherever you find podcasts. See you later.